Well, hello from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where Leinster play Toulouse in the Champions Cup final tomorrow. Leinster are having their captain's run here. They're familiarising themselves with this new stadium. Keane, a Champions Cup final hasn't been held here before. It's pretty impressive.
It is incredible, yeah. I was here at the start of the season, Sinead, for the tournament launch, and we were brought on a bit of a whistle-stop tour. Got to come down and see the pitch and that, but it all feels very real now. But what was that, back in November after the World Cup? It feels like a long time ago now. You were really hoping that one of the Irish teams, or even better still, two of the Irish teams would have made it here to give us the day out. It looks absolutely incredible.
Lovely and intimate as well.
And it's going to be packed full of Leinster supporters. There's going to be thousands making the journey over, but also there's so many Irish people based in London as well. So I was speaking to someone during the week that Leinster are almost finding it tough to predict how many supporters are going to be here, because they reckon a lot of people would have bought tickets when the tickets went on public sale before they knew Leinster were in the final. I think after they beat La Rochelle in the quarter-final, there was a serious surge of tickets bought as well. So look, it couldn't be better shaped in terms of the competition's two best teams. I think everyone would agree. It's the final that everyone wanted to see in what is a fitting venue.
Yeah, and the Leinster team has been named. So you had this morning, Keane. So Will Connors is in the back row. Hugh Keenan is in at 15. James Ryan is on the bench. They've gone with a 6-2 split, which means Jimmy O'Brien misses out.
It just goes to show the quality of the squad that Leinster have available. I think Jimmy O'Brien's been excellent since he's made his return from that neck injury, which kept him out for most of the season. And look, unfortunately for him, it's probably just come a little bit too late. It would be very difficult and unfair, I think, to drop Jordan Larmour. He's having a really good season, definitely showing signs of a return to his best form. So I don't think he was ever going to be dropped. I think Will Connors coming into the back row is pretty much more of a straightforward decision. I think Leinster, my understanding is that Leinster were as keen as possible to go as close as the team that beat La Rochelle.
Yeah, so Van der Fleer's on the bench.
Van der Fleer's on the bench, and he was excellent off the bench. And look, it's incredibly harsh to start a guy like that on the bench, but he gives you a great impact. Look, Will Connors has only played twice, Sinead, in the Champions Cup this season. In both of the wins over La Rochelle, he's played 48 minutes in each game, so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out how many minutes he's probably going to play here tomorrow. So you look at the quality of that bench, like you mentioned, James Ryan. I was a little bit surprised. I thought he would be coming back in, particularly as co-captain. It's a big show of faith in Jason Jenkins. He needs a big performance. Obviously, he's out the door at the end of the season.
Starts alongside Jason Jenkins in the second row,
Exactly, yeah. So Joe McCarthy is there as well. Joe McCarthy and Jason Jenkins. That's a beefy second row partnership. But with James Ryan to come off the bench along with Ronan Kelleher, Jack Cohn and Josh Van der Fleer, it seems to me that Leinster are conscious that they haven't been finishing games that well. Well, I don't think there's any excuses when you look at the quality of players that they're going to be able to roll off the bench tomorrow.
So obviously we know Leinster have lost the last two finals. The pressure on them tomorrow is just going to be incredible.
There's huge pressure. It's over dramatic to say it's now or never, because you look at the age profile and the talent of the squad. They're going to be around for the next few years, but there is a lot of hurt in this squad. Last year it was all set up perfectly for them in terms of having that home final. Maybe the pressure got to them a little bit too much. It might be better to be playing away from home, away from the glare, but that's a leveler factor, I think, for Toulouse as well, because Leinster have had their number over the last couple of years, but those matches have been on in Dublin. Last year's semi-final was a bizarre match from a Toulouse point of view in terms of the 6-2 bench backfiring. They had two costly yellow cards.
Yeah, of course.
So it's hard to know how much to actually read into that, as well as Leinster played, but I think the game being in London as opposed to Dublin is a real levelling factor. But there is enormous pressure on this team, Sinead. 6 years is it without a Champions Cup. Back in 2018 in Bilbao was the last time. That's far too long for a squad of this calibre. But equally, this Toulouse team don't lose many finals at all. So like I said, it couldn't be better set up. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it is. It should be a classic. Well, we're going to get into this in a lot more detail on our Left Wing podcast, which will be out later this afternoon.